guest of honor today. It's not every day that we have a cabinet minister presiding over the functions of MSMEs. And it is even rarer that the defense minister, another first time in the history of India, has chosen to be the chief guest on the MSMEs platform. A big round. That shows the character and determination of the current chief defense minister we have in Honorable Shri Parrikar. Now may I request President FISME to welcome our chief guest by presenting the flag bouquet, please. Sunila, could you please help? Sir. May I also request the MD, Mr. Jain, of his SP Publications, to kindly welcome our guest of honor by presenting the flag bouquet. Without further ado, because the minister is too hard pressed for the time, so I would request the President of Federation of Indian Micro, Small and Medium Enterprises, Dr. Singam Kurade, to come and deliver his welcome address, please. Dr. Kurade.
Good morning. Good morning to all of you. And thank you for coming in such large numbers. And let me start my speech. Honorable Raksha Mantri Ji, Shri Manohar Bab Parrikar, Honorable Member Niti Aayog, Dr. Saraswat, Shri Jayant Barunwal, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen. It's a huge honor for me to welcome all of you this morning on behalf of not only FISME, but also the entire MSME community in India. For, in our institutional memory, it is for the first time that India's Raksha Mantri has honored the date with actual MSMEs. Coming from Goa and watching Shri Manohar Bab Parrikar work from close quarters as my MLA, as Goa's leader of opposition, as well as a chief minister of state many times. A few words about us, the FISME. Federation of Indian Micro and Small and Medium Enterprises, that is FISME, was born actually in 1967. So in a very few couple of years, we should be turning 50 actually. With the liberalization and in the mid-90s, 1995 specifically, we were reorganized and christened as FISME. Today, we have a network of over 700 MSME associations spread over states across all industrial sectors. We also have offices in Hyderabad, Bangalore, and Chennai. Our mission is to work for the survival and growth of MSMEs. We basically work in three thematic areas. Firstly, the market access for MSMEs. Secondly, the research-based advocacy for reforms to improve the business environment for MSMEs. And thirdly, the planning and execution of MSMEs development projects in partnership with Government of India and different international agencies which we have worked with over time, World Bank, UNTAD, UNIDO, GIZ, Commonwealth, etc. You name it, we have worked with them in the past. Now, our initiative for exploring opportunities for MSMEs in the defense sector is part of the larger market access theme. Since ages, MSMEs have been supplying to the armed forces in large number of areas such as goods and services against revenue procurements from food, clothing, parts and spares. FISME took a lot of steps initially also to push MSMEs participation in capital procurement done by defense establishment in the weapons and weapon systems also. We had conceived and organized in 2011, one huge program on defense plus contract in Hyderabad. It was the Expo to foster linkages between OEMs and Tier 1 and Tier 2 suppliers. This was done in active support of Ministry of Defense and MSMEs. It was inaugurated then, at that time, Minister of Defense, Shri Pallam Raju. There is little doubt, sir, that under Prime Minister Modi's and your leadership, there is a renewed focus in the central government on Make in India and building indigenous capabilities in defense production through a slew of policy interventions being planned, including offsets. We at FISMI, sir, should be very much like to be a part of this process. It's not that we would like to be of a demand. It's something which is a need of the hour and is required for nation building. Last month in May, sir, we organized a brainstorming session with a few India's top OEMs, including Boeing, BAE Systems, Israel Aerospace, IDSA, etc. And based on the deliberations, FISMI has, along with a talented pool of professionals, Concol Advisory, we have attempted a consultation paper, which is part of this profile. It's presented in your kit. It says challenges of Indian MSMEs participation on defense sector. This will be deliberated and discussed later on. So, without much further ado, there are a couple of issues which I'd like to for you to look at and demand your attention, sir. For the paucity of time, please allow me to flag just a few of them. Firstly, sir, you are acutely aware of the reasons why the critical guidelines of defense procurement policy on buy Indian, buy and make Indian, buy and make with the transfer technology, these things have not yielded desired results. So, we need guidelines which are simple and easily implementable. This is one of our first requests, sir. Secondly, our specific request, and most importantly, which can take us forward from after this seminar, because finally seminars and talks are fine, but we need to take this thing momentum forward for the nation building. Sir, kindly consider our request for establishing an MSME interface in your defense establishment. It is done in the US on the lines of US Department of Defense Office of Small Businesses. It is also done in Singapore. It is also done in Israel, sir, I'm going to understand. Now this, in effect, provides a host of support services such as procurement forecast, procurement technical assistance with subcontracting plans, liaison between private sector, small businesses, and provides a mechanism for backward integration. It helps your ministry as well as the MSME shop. That was the second point. The third, let me address to a lot of skeptics who may be there in the audience, across the board, across India, that the role of MSME capabilities, there is always, when the discussion of defense production and procurement does happen, and our argument is ensued, sir, that there are not enough capable MSME defense suppliers. So, this, sir, is an erroneous assertion. The fact of the matter is, it is MSMEs who are technically capable, but they don't know how to reach you, nor is there a mechanism for you to reach out to them. A lot of ways, sir, the ministry is like a Berlin Wall. This needs to be broken, and we should have a free interface where the nation is helped, sir. I'll give you an example straight on forward, sir. And for all the members of the audience, you people should be remembering 25 years back, or 30 years back rather, when Maruti tied up with Suzuki in the automotive sector. Of course, there was a large company coming forward and setting up shop here. What if such a thing happens in the defense establishment? It would revolutionize, not just, the Maruti Suzuki tie-up revolutionize not just the automotive sector, but engineering aspects across the board, across India. I think, honestly, sir, except for you traveling in the ambassador, we find very few people traveling in ambassadors today, because the kind of cars and the kind of products which you see coming off from automotive sector is really astounding. I think similar thing can happen in India through defense also. Also, at the same time, I'd like to point out that SMEs also should be able to scale up through investments and through skill and innovation. And finally, sir, I'd like to point out that we spend billions of dollars in defense R&D, but much of our output, sometimes excellent technologies, remains locked in silos of defense establishment. Effort to get access to them for commercializing these technologies have been nothing less than frustrating for the MSMEs. In many other countries, MSMEs are given the first take on defense R&D-led technology spin-offs. Some of the examples which come across to my mind is like the Velcro, what we very standard. I mean, this was in a World War II scenario where Velcro, when man went to the moon, the Velcro came in the picture. The simple stick-on, which you use for your stationery, that's also a defense innovation, long time back. So having said this, I hope, sir, and to all the members of the audience, that today's deliberation and findings will help us prepare a policy paper which will be considered by the policymakers, sir, and FISME's services will be fully utilized on requisite platforms. I once again thank the Honorable Raksha Mantri for sparing his time from his busy schedule to be among MSMEs in the country, and Dr. Saraswat for his august presence. Look forward to all of your views for the upliftment of MSMEs. Dhanyavad and Jai Hind.
Thank you, Dr. Purare. You mentioned two very important points. One, that how, for example, we need an MSME interface on the lines of US Department of Defense Office of Small Business. And second, how some efforts are needed to unlock the technologies that lie in defense establishments and how MSMEs can have the fastest take in them. A big round of applause, ladies and gentlemen, for FISME President for having made his presentation. Moving on, I have an honor of introducing you a very illustrious person today, Dr. Vijay Kumar Saraswat. Dr. Vijay Kumar Saraswat, India's most gifted scientist and accomplished researcher. He is a rare combination of innovation, technologies, and he is a visionary. Dr. Saraswat completed his engineering.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. A big round of applause for Dr. Saraswat.
Good morning. Honorable Raksha Mantri Shri Parikar ji, Shri Sangam Korade ji, Amit Bharadwaj ji, Jayant Baranwal ji, all the distinguished participants to this particular conference today. I see many known faces because my life of 40 years in defense R&D has been with the large number of MSMEs. In fact, if I start narrating you the stories from 1972, when I started my career, till I retired in 2013, I think it must have been more than at least 150 to 200 MSMEs whom I would have worked for different challenges which I faced in my career for realizing systems in R&D. Recently, I was just going through a very important document when we are preparing NITI Aayog, because statistics is what I am learning now. I never used to learn statistics about economics and growth of industry and so on. But today if I see, the first and the foremost sentence which I saw on that document was that the MSMEs have emerged as the most vibrant and dynamic sector of the Indian economy. This was the starting sentence in the document. It was a study made by one of the consulting groups in this country, and it quoted that it contributes nearly 8% of the country's GDP. Out of the 17% which the overall manufacturing contributes, which is about 8% what the GDP you gentlemen are contributing. And it's about 45% of the manufacturing output, great. 40% of exports, 30 million employment. That is the next highest employment which MSMEs provide after agriculture. I don't know how many of you are aware of these statistics, but it's very heartening. Because my experience of MSMEs is something what I have seen them growing from 1970s. I can recall one story when I wanted to get one of my compressors, which one of my predecessors in 1972 imported from Belgium. It was lying in grass. Nobody had used it, so it was completely rusted and corroded. My boss told me to start it somehow. And when I opened it, the cylinder, the piston, everything was completely rusted and jammed. So my first task was to get that cylinder rebored or get something. Then I found there was some, because of the corrosion, cracks are there. So I went around in Hyderabad and found there was nobody who could give me a casting for that liner. So I went, somebody told me, go to Charminar. In Charminar, there's a guy called Fakhruddin, he will be able to do it. I went there was a small hut kind of a thing where there's a small furnace and he is casting. So I told him, can you do it in Magnite casting? He said, if you want casting, I've got this cast iron. I will do it. He did that and I said, machining, you go to Truk Bazaar, there is a lathe there you can get the machining or boring, whatever you want. After 7 days, that fellow gave me some piece. That was a skill of MSME at that point in time. From there on, from 82s, we have seen the growth of MSMEs as the Indian defense R&D, particularly space R&D, the atomic energy R&D grew up. It is the R&D centers of this country which have really harnessed the capabilities of MSMEs in a big way. Right from 1982 till today, I can tell you there are more than about 400 industries which are largely MSMEs, of course some of them may be medium class, who have grown today from just component manufacturers to subsystem designers, subsystem developers, and even today participating in major programs of Indian defense. Just one case I will narrate to you, one Akash project, whose orders are almost about 25, if I remember earlier when I was in DRDO, it was about 25,000 crores. Now I am told it is growing to about 40,000 crores. 65% of this production is coming from the private sector and largely from MSMEs. So that itself shows how the MSME sector in this country has grown, which is directly corroborated by the data which is just now I was putting for you. Now, this kind of a growth has certainly taken the country, as the industry has grown from purely component manufacturer to today participating in the India's R&D programs and then evolving themselves into subsystem designers. A lot of innovation has come. I'll give an example. When we were trying to make a nose cone for a missile, we were only drop stamping, which HAL used to do in a very costly manner. We asked one of the MSMEs, can you make a stretch forming? And the MSME built one machine for stretch forming, first time in this country, and built an ogive nose cone, which used to be one of the costliest item coming from HAL. It was a very, very costly process. And that has become the order of the day today. So there are a lot of innovation in doing new processes which have happened. Doing servo valves, doing hydraulic actuators, making electronic systems for the missiles and the aircrafts, embedded computers, hydraulic systems for raising warheads up and down. I think there's a gentleman sitting here who participated in the program like that. There are many of you who have done wonderful work for them. Friends, the growth has taken place. You have learned how to do very, very complex technological things in this particular area. But now, if you look at what are the opportunities waiting for you, Indian defense programs are growing and growing. Today you have almost about 150 to 200 billion dollars of opportunity as far as defense is concerned. You have missiles, you have aircraft, you have got tanks, you have guns, you have got UAVs, you have got large number of subsystems and systems which are under indigenous R&D, and some of them are being procured directly, which also gives you opportunity to participate in a big way. If you have to see that, you have to participate in that, you have to realize that defense is not a conventional business. This is one business where you have complex designs, you have low volume of production, you have specific materials, you have many processes which are very, very unique, and those all have to be made available if you have to make use of these opportunities. And from where these processes will come, you will learn it through interaction with the various research and development organizations in this country, as well as from the academic institutions. We have to upgrade our infrastructure in terms of modern methods of manufacturing in MSMEs also, if you want to make use of these particular opportunities which are coming. Quality control, certification, and also stringent regulatory mechanisms which control the supply of these items to our armed forces have to be all part of your learning exercise. If you don't do that, the ecosystem which has generated now with large number of industries of tier 1 type, tier 2 type, already harnessing the availability of the offsets and so on, the major opportunity is 30% offset of this $150 million market. Makes how much? Can you imagine? And even if you become as a tier 2 or a tier 3 supplier in that, you have great opportunity. But for that, upgradation of your manufacturing processes, your quality culture, your investment in some of these areas will have to be done in a big way. If you are able to do that, then all these DPP processes, which I'm sure our Honorable Raksha Mantri has already taken a decision to simplify all of them so that the process of getting into that becomes easier, will be a boon for all of us to make our MSMEs a great sector. I can only say that after 150 billion, if the offsets about 30% comes, you still have about 10 to 20 billion dollars of business which is awaiting. What should we do for that? We should start now working more and more towards the new processes which are emerging. And if countries' direction in expanding the defense business becomes larger, then if we have clusters, maybe cluster for electronics, maybe clusters for armament, maybe clusters for hydraulics and pneumatics and sensors, maybe clusters for naval systems, maybe clusters for electronic manufacturing for different segments, they all will become part of your domain, because you will be the main bedrock for doing the production of the components and subsystems and feeding into the system laboratories. And I'm sure many of you, as you will grow, will be in a position to become sometimes for the small subsystems like UAVs and things like that, the lead integrator also. The need of the hour is to bring in more and more innovation, R&D in your system. If you are able to do that, the government policies today will be very, very beneficial in upgrading your infrastructure. 10,000 crore special fund has been announced by the government for MSMEs. If we can make use of that, and the policy of subsidies which is going to come as far as the MSMEs are concerned, it's going to be a great boon as far as this sector is concerned. Working with R&D, working with the defense PSUs, working with ordnance factories, taking all the tier 2 and tier 3 kind of activities with the new processes should be the mantra as far as the growth of MSMEs is concerned. Innovation and design capability growth with new processes should be your next step in this direction. Opportunities are many, friends. We are here, we have been with you all the time, and I'm sure we can take this sector as from 8%, probably 17% tomorrow, as far as the aerospace and defense is concerned. I think our Honorable Raksha Mantri has already announced that many modifications in the procurement process that will be all beneficial for MSME, and I'm sure this will happen. Thank you very much for giving me this opportunity to interact with you, and wish you all the best.
Thank you very much, Dr. Saraswat, for your inspiring speech and also reposing faith in the capabilities of the MSMEs, especially coming from a person, India's top scientist who has worked on a range of India's top arsenal of Prithvis and so on. Dr. Padma Bhushan, Dr. Saraswat, a big round of applause, ladies and gentlemen. Now I have the great honor of introducing Shri Manohar Parrikar, Honorable Raksha Mantri, to you. An alumni of Indian Institute of Technology 1978 batch. He has broken various new grounds, whether it is in the politics of Goa or whether it is as Chief Minister of Goa, and now he has started breaking those grounds that we see every day today as Defence Minister of the country. We may be comprising of small and medium enterprises here, of small businesses, but let's show, ladies and gentlemen, that our businesses may be small, but our hearts are large. A thunderous applause, ladies and gentlemen.
Sangam Kurade, Bhardwaj, rest of you. Let me first thank the forum for giving me this opportunity to speak on opportunities for MSME in defense sector. Let me be brief because Saraswat has already put up many things. And one factor which I think I learnt at IIT besides technology was humor, which I have decided that I will not use it in public forum. Many times those who don't understand it take it in a wrong way. So I'll stick to the basic issue, and that is opportunity to micro, small and medium, or tiny, small and medium industries. Before becoming defense minister, I can tell you that I am part of you being a technocrat myself, and having started a small scale unit in Goa before getting pushed into this very wild world of politics. I was in an area which was less wild, that is manufacturing. Because in manufacturing you can predict what happens. Here you can't. When I sit there, I note that there is a continuous photography being taken, so we have to be alert every 10 seconds. This is technology actually. When I came in politics, a photographer had to think 10 times before taking a photograph, because he had to develop it on a film. The film was costing, the time consuming. So now he just presses the shutter and allows the technology to do the rest. So he gets a photograph every 1 or 2 seconds and then selects the best or the worst, depending on where it has to be used. See, the IIT days don't go away that very easily. But I agree with Sangam that it is actually the MSME, small sector, which is the real power center for innovation and finding out new ways. And therefore, the Make in India, and let me differentiate between Make in India project and Make project. The Make project is selection of a project, selection of a identified sub-assemblies, final product or component which needs to be developed in India as an import substitute. So you list out product from various imported items and then decide that okay, I'm going to develop this product to a reasonable indigenous standard or indigenization, and I'm going to make this in India, for which government is ready to support you. I think we should have some patience, and as I earlier said, the kind of complexities which has developed over last decade in defense procurement needs to be simplified. It's very easy to design something fresh, but to modify old setup patterns which has created difficulties, it's more difficult. And we are on the job, we understand all these aspects. We also understand that MSME cannot have a withholding power, which a big industrial house may have. Obviously, he develops a product, and if the developed product does not result into fruitful order, either he is totally disappointed and goes away from the development field of it, or collapses. I was having a talk with one retired bank employee who was part of this restructuring and non-performing asset. And a very important thing which he brought to my notice was that substantial quantum of non-performing assets were results of actually commercial non-performance and not technical non-performance from the MSME sector. So they had performed well, but they could not manage a commercial contract, particularly if it is dealing with government or government-related agencies. And government-related agencies includes even a private government sector, defense PSUs, for example, or PSUs, which almost behaves like a government arm. Instead of taking advantage of the flexibility permitted under the Companies Act, they tend to look back towards the Defense Department. Of course, they can't be blamed for it. I think all this needs to be changed. And a change requires change in mindset. It's very important. How much you did, what you did, how much was successful is decided over a period of time. You can't make a success and overnight I can't say that I'm going to have a 30% or 20%. These are just assumed figures. Certain percentage of input from small and medium and micro. But if the thinking pattern changes, a lot of things change. You are seeing it for last 2-3 days. A simple action against insurgents has changed the mindset of the full security scenario in the country. I'm not going into the detail of the event, which has been briefed by military operations. Obviously, because it is security sensitive. But I am going into the aspect of it creating a different mindset. So much so that those who fear India's new posture have started reacting. And therefore, it is what mindset requires change, which can actually result into ultimate success in any field you choose. Your own personal life also, if you change the mindset, you will realize that suddenly a lot of problem vanishes. Do it at home, practice it at home. And change it from your side. Don't wait others, members of the family to change it for you. Change it from your side. Start taking every family challenge in a serious but well organized issue, and you will find your mindset itself solves half the problem. I think the change in mindset in government due to Modi's clarion call for Make in India. It doesn't become, a lot of people ask me how much FDI has flown in India because of Make in India or increasing of FDI. It's not FDI increased 26 to 49, which immediately is going to result into huge, massive investment. But it is a very important door to be kept open for an investment to flow in. If you don't open this door and do everything internally, the external door of FDI cap will block the entry. So you have to open one door, you have to open another door. And most important, you have to open the door of the mindset. What is very important is change the overall mindset on security of the nation, and very important aspect of change in mindset of security of the nation is self-reliance. You cannot afford to be dependent on someone else for your weaponry or your armament. Logic is very simple. We are maintaining all this structure, defense structure, at a huge cost. Anyone, whichever country. Obviously, for eventuality. and not for day-to-day use. So when you go for an eventuality, you need to be more reliant on your own sources and not on imports, because the various reasons imports can get into a jam or stuck up. And that is one of the reasons the mindset of defense procurement has to change. My job is to change the mindset. The regulatory mechanisms will come in due course. We are on a fast track, that much I can promise you, but even the fast track requires some time. The time frame can be squeezed but cannot be eliminated. And therefore I request you to hold for some, as far as R&D is concerned, the IPP technology transfer, all aspects have been already addressed. And either interaction or a platform for small industry will be created the moment DPP is in force. At this moment, as far as the procurement is concerned, there are many issues in defense. We are focusing on the fresh DPP with Make in India, all concepts well clarified, which I think should come in a reasonable time. And when I say reasonable time, I have not given any deadline, simply because deadlines are for me and not for the public. Thank you very much.
One word, sir, that highlights and covers everything is change of mindset. That's what I think summarizes the most important part of the address of the Honorable Minister. And the change of mindset is not just confined to the specific DPP, but the overall security structure of the country. And that the results of which we have started seeing in the recent past. A big round of applause, ladies and gentlemen, for our Defence Minister. And now may I request CMD of the SP Publications to come over and propose the vote of thanks, please.
Honorable Defence Minister Shri Manohar Parrikar ji, Dr. V.K. Saraswat, my colleagues from FISMI, Anil ji and Sangam ji, and friends. It's a delight to be part of an initiative by FISMI which calls for support and collaborative opportunities for medium and small enterprises. Our country is full of talents and resources, and the MSMEs are the true examples of the same. Honorable Parrikar ji, if we are allowed to speak our heart, I would like to humbly mention that we at SPs, founded in 1964 by our founder Shri S.P. Baranwal, are not passionate about our publications, but are immensely passionate about our country, our motherland. And that's the only reason why not only we have almost 10 publications with about 10 issues a year, but we work very minutely with all the quality aspects of these publications. Make in India, a great initiative introduced by our Honorable Prime Minister Shri Modi ji, is rather a destination. If we all work together with support of our government and industry ministries, we can make it towards Make India Better. A group of ants can work if together as stronger as the dinosaur against an elephant, if I may say so. Also, with Make in India duly in place, I believe we shall be aiming for much stronger globalization of our country. Our sincere thanks to Honorable Minister for his time he so kindly spared for our efforts on MSMEs. We do look forward to your kind support and blessings for all of us. We convey sincere appreciation to FISME for their efforts, and we look forward to our growing partnership. We thank indeed our partners, KNN and Koan. Jai Hind.
Thank you, Mr. Dhanwal. Now, may I kindly request our colleagues, Mr. Manohar Gain, Vice President, Manesar Industry Association, Mr. Ramesh Sundar, President of Narayana Industries Association, if they could kindly come straight forward and kindly be a little fast and give away the mementos from FISME to the Honorable Chief Guest. Mr. Gain, to the Honorable Defence Minister. Sri Ramesh Sundar to Dr. Saraswat. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. A big round of applause for our guests. Kindly stay on when the guests depart. We'll have a 10 minutes break after that, and then we'll resume for the second session. Thanks.